Alright, this is insane. I want to show you guys the results of this experiment that AOC ran on her Instagram story where she asked the Trump voters in her district one specific question. And a lot of the results are not only mind-blowing, but they also help bring a lot of clarity to the situation that we currently find ourselves in. Now, really quickly, people like AOC, people like Governor Gavin Newsom have really been stepping up as leaders within the Democratic Party lately and filling this vacuum when a lot of other leaders we thought we had are just quiet. I don't know if you guys have been realizing, but a lot of people are just quiet ever since Trump won, but now is not the time to be quiet, which is why this article reads, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez took to Instagram to get a better understanding of perhaps the most confusing electoral coalition, the AOC and Trump voter, people who split their ticket and voted for both AOC and Donald Trump. Now on Sunday night, the progressive congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez opened her story comments to her followers on Instagram asking, quote, people who support both Trump and me, or voted Trump and for Democrats, tell us why. Because if you guys didn't know, New York Congressional District number 14, AOC's district, experienced a record number of ticket splitting, meaning people voted for Donald Trump at the top of the ticket, but then they also voted for Democrats like AOC down ballot. They split their ticket when in 2020, people voted for Joe Biden at a 77% rate and almost always voted for AOC down ballot. Now in 2024, Kamala Harris only got about 65% of the votes in that district, which is great, but that also means Trump gained 10 to 14% of the votes in a New York district that AOC is the head of. So I want to show you guys some of the answers that AOC got. I want to show you some of the videos that she's been putting out and talk about some of the implications of what we're about to read. Make sure you drop a like, make sure you subscribe below, and let's start off with some of the answers that AOC got. So she said, I'm listening, after she asked, why did you vote for Trump and me? What could possibly make you guys vote for a Democrat, but also Trump at the top of the ticket? And the answers basically just boil down to populism. So somebody said, it's real simple. Trump and you care for the working class. Someone said, wanted change, so I went with Trump and blue for the rest of the ballot to put some brakes. Someone said, voted Trump, but I like you and Bernie. I don't trust either party establishment politicians. Someone said, action and progress over stagnation and excuses. Both of you push boundaries and force growth. Someone said, I would have voted for you and Trump, but I am in California. I like your style. One response reads, I feel like Trump and you are both real. One reads, Trump is going to get us the money and lets men have a voice. You're brilliant and have amazing passion. Someone said, voted for Trump in Arizona, but voted for the Democrat Rubin instead of Kerry Lake because he's good at handling war. They said, I feel that you were both outsiders compared to the rest of DC and less establishment. So there's another page, but just to break down this first page, just to break down what was said so far, people are saying that Donald Trump and AOC are both outsiders. They both want to shake up the system, and this just proves people vote based off of vibes. This proves that people don't vote based off of Donald Trump's policies because they voted for AOC. AOC wants more healthcare. She wants to help the average person, but they also get the vibe that Donald Trump is this outsider who will come in and shake up the system that has failed them thus far in life. That's why somebody said, I like Bernie Sanders and I like Donald Trump. That's why a lot of people voted Bernie Sanders in the primaries in 2020, but then also voted for Trump because they are attracted to somebody who's going to come in and shake up the system. Now, somebody also read, I know people that did this and it was because of Gaza. Now that one actually really hurts my brain because you guys know that my dad is Muslim. His entire side of the family, they're all Muslim. We talk about this all the time and they know for a fact, they know this, but Trump is not the pro-Muslim or pro-Palestine candidate. For example, Exhibit A right here, he just appointed Elise Stefanik for his UN ambassador. Elise Stefanik is a staunch supporter of Israel, writes BBC, and has also been critical of the United Nations for what she argues is a lack of sufficient backing for its war against Hamas. So, Stefanik is going to come into the United Nations almost like a virus and try to shake up the system and push her pro-Israel views ardently. And I'm not even speaking about the war itself right now. I'm not even taking a position. I'm just saying If Muslims believe that Donald Trump is the pro-Palestine candidate or he's going to tear down the systems that exist, they are very, very wrong. So a lot of these answers are wrong. And you know, it reminds me of that Winston Churchill quote. Winston Churchill once said, "The best argument against democracy is a 5-minute conversation with the average voter." And I know that sounds kind of pessimistic, but if this election proved anything, it's that people just vote based on vibes. Somebody also said, "Voted for Trump and you, not genocide Harris. Dems need Bernie." Oh, if they didn't like, quote, genocide Harris, wait till what Trump does. She was more for rights than the economy when she talked about it and didn't have a plan. Someone said, "You are focused on the real issues people care about, similar to Trump populism." Someone says it right here, "You're both straightforward and challenge corruption and the broken government." So people think that both AOC and Donald Trump challenged the government. They challenged the corruption that currently exists. And I would say the exact opposite with Donald Trump. I mean, he is the corruption. Donald Trump is now the swamp. When he says that he wants to drain the swamp, drain the billionaires that exist behind the scenes pulling the strings, but then he allows the richest person in the world, who is an immigrant, by the way, or was an illegal immigrant, Elon Musk, he allows that person to buy his campaign essentially and then buy access to high-level phone calls. Yeah, Trump is the corruption. But a few things. First of all, I totally understand if your head hurts after reading all of these comments, if your head is spinning after reading people who believe that Trump and AOC are on the same side, but it also brings a little bit of clarity. A lot of these people are just low information voters, and I can't tell if that's a derogatory term. I don't mean it in a derogatory way. I just literally mean they don't have a lot of information about what they're voting about, what they're voting for. They consume X, they consume Instagram, and they just vote based on the vibes of candidates. Now, these people know that AOC, I'm sure, supports healthcare because AOC is talking about this constantly, healthcare for all. So how do they not know that Donald Trump wants to strip that healthcare away? Well, Donald Trump acts like he is fighting for you. He is fighting the corrupt healthcare system that has screwed you over so many damn times. And I honestly think Trump's TV persona helps him a lot, or the one that he used to have with The Apprentice. The Apprentice was able to successfully rebrand him from a failed businessman to this very decisive leader who is going to fight for you and knows how to shake things up, like I've said a million times. And that's not the reality of it. Trump is not very decisive. He doesn't have a position on many of these wars. I mean, JD Vance literally came out and said recently that Trump's position with Ukraine and Russia is to just let them figure it out and hope that it straightens itself out. He said as president-elect, he would solve these wars within 24 hours. Well, it's been 72, maybe even almost 100 hours. Trump hasn't solved a single war because it's not possible. He is a salesman, and that is why people are saying Trump signified change. No, he sold you on the idea of change. And let's listen to what AOC has to say in these Instagram stories, because like I was saying, both her and Gavin Newsom have really risen up as leaders within the Democratic Party and done an amazing job. Let's listen to AOC when she was asked, "Are you ready for Trump again?"
No, I'm not. I don't think most people are. I think a lot of people were finding out this week what a tariff meant. That a tariff is not what China or some other country pays. It's what you pay, what we pay. I think a lot of people aren't ready for mass deportations and what that means. 1 in every 15 people in this country lives in a mixed status family. So that means that we're talking about 1 in every 15 people potentially having their families broken apart.
And sorry to pause it, but to all the people saying, "Oh, it's not actually going to happen, he's not actually going to be able to do this," no. He appointed Stephen Miller as his deputy chief of staff just today. Stephen Miller is the one spearheading this plan, and they are going to mobilize the National Guard in all of these red states. They have even said they will move the National Guard from red states over to blue states. I made a video on this earlier. Go check out my last video.
I don't think we're ready for that, including what that means for the economy. I don't think we're ready for the censorship that is coming and for a whole lot more. But our job right now is to get ready and to prepare.
Boom, well said. AOC was then asked, "The infighting online on the left is ridiculous, and the vitriol between Democrats and Republicans is abhorrent. How do we heal?
This is a not insignificant problem. It's interesting that we are in a cultural moment where on the left and the right and the center, there's just a certain cachet and reward to being an asshole. And yeah, we've seen it on the right. We also see it on the left. And I actually think that we need to be paying more attention to how a person is, because a lot of people use righteous or popular causes as an excuse or a smokescreen to let out their worst impulses or the ways that they wish they could treat people. And I think we need to pay a lot more attention to that in terms of deciding how to trust and who to trust as we move forward. I think
very, very well said from AOC, and she's really had a great progression through politics. When she came into office, I remember she was very idealistic and a little bit naive, and I know that I'm saying that as a young person, but I know when she first came into office, she was definitely a little bit overly naive or idealistic, but she has really transformed into this figure that understands that you can pass progressive policy, but you need pragmatism. You need to build these coalitions in order to pass policy. But just to go back to this post, because I didn't actually debunk the content of the post, I was more talking about the broader strategy of populism. I mean, we can go through post by post. This one says, it's real simple. Trump and you care for the working class. Okay, AOC cares for the working class objectively because she wants to redistribute wealth, she wants to raise the minimum wage, she wants more benefits and protections for workers. Donald Trump wants to union bust. Donald Trump doesn't care for the working class. He is a billionaire who has taken advantage of the working class and whose campaign is made up of other billionaires, people like Elon Musk, who, by the way, have also busted unions in the past. So when AOC's followers are saying Trump cares about the working class to the same extent as AOC, I'm sorry, but they've been conned. They've been tricked into thinking that Trump cares for the working class when he doesn't at all. This one says, I wanted change, so I went with Trump and blue for the rest of the ballot. That's not the same type of change. The Bernie Sanders AOC type of change of redistributing wealth and giving healthcare to other people is not the same type of change as what they call radical conservatism, or tearing down all of our institutions to enforce these conservative values. Now, I'll expand on this in other videos, but if you enjoyed this one, drop a like, subscribe, leave a blue heart, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.